Hey everyone, NoModMaster here. Next on the list at number 11 is National Park Visitor Center. It has an area rank of 57 and a height limit of 18 floors. So this settlement is located in Far Harbor, so you're going to have to build a mighty defense, and obviously it relies on fog condensers. You can actually discover this location before you get the quest for it, and Mitch actually gives you a quest for rescuing his uncle Ken, who is currently living here, which is why there are currently fog condensers. But keep in mind, you're going to have to progress the Far Harbor main quest a little bit before you have the option to talk to Mitch. So that is something you're going to have to do for certain settlements in Far Harbor. Just keep in mind. And just look around here and you will find Uncle Ken. He is kind of mean, but your goal is to basically let Mitch know that he's safe. You can convince Uncle Ken to come back with you, or you can just leave him here at the settlement. I actually like leaving him here because he adds a little bit of personality to the settlement. Alright, I'm going to go back to Far Harbor now, and then I'm going to return so that we can unlock that workbench. So upon returning, you'll notice that there's already settlers here. And that's fine with me because obviously this is a dangerous settlement, so any kind of free defense I will take. Now let's go over to that workbench and see how big the settlement really is. And like the other Far Harbor settlements, there is a lot of stuff here that you can scrap. So let's go and do a sweep of the perimeter so we can get an idea of what's around us and how rough the terrain is that we're on. I would say for the most part that this settlement is fairly flat, but it does have some pretty steep hilly spots here and there. So obviously there's a cooking station right there in the middle of the settlement. And keep in mind, we're in Acadia National Park, and that entrance actually, which is the big awning, is very similar to the one in real life, if you've seen it on maps or been to it before. These little posts help you go through the trails in the park. So one of the trails leads directly to the visitor center, of course, the main trail. So you can actually turn that area into a gate if you want to, at least I like to. Over here, as we make our way downhill a little bit, there's a lot of trees and shrubs. You're going to have to scrap a lot of this stuff if you want to build a wall, and I would suggest building a wall. So as you make your way down here to the parking lot, you'll see there's a little campsite here. And then this parking lot is actually kind of interesting because not only does it help flatten the settlement out, but it also has some weird shrubby bushes that you may notice around Far Harbor. And thankfully you can scrap them. But over here, you may notice that we're kind of near the road again. So where I poked my head out there, you can actually go over to the beach settlement, which is Dalton Farm. And then right here is that parking lot with all those shrubby bushes. I kind of just like to delete all of this stuff and build because it's flat here. But you can do whatever you want. You can build something that incorporates those bushes because they are unique. But other than that, there's some other stuff in the settlement I think is even more notable versus the shrubby bushes. I'll talk about that in a minute. This is the main entrance. Obviously, you're going to want to put probably a gate there at the very least. And then making our way back up this hill, there's this nasty rocky ledge here. I actually kind of like this. I know you're like, oh, I have to build my wall there. I'm like, I kind of like it because I'm going to put a building on the edge there and I want it to look cool. But yeah, probably not a fun spot to build a wall. But I have faith in you all. I'm sure you'll be fine. Not to mention that fence pieces snap together, so you can manage. I actually like to build structures that act as my wall, so I can use the foundation to my advantage. Up here with the fallen tree is the hilliest part of the settlement, but it's also the tallest part. So this is another spot where you're going to have to use your foundations and get creative with the slopes. Nothing too crazy. We've had worse settlements on the list already that have had much hillier terrain. So if you haven't figured out how to build on hilly terrain, I would suggest not doing it in this settlement because you're in a very dangerous place. Try a safer settlement. First, let's go inside. Let's take a look at this house. So this building is awesome. It's not too destroyed. So there's not a crazy amount of things you have to fix. There's lots of stuff you have to build though. So the worst things that are destroyed is probably these bathrooms and then the upstairs roof. Other than that, nothing is too destroyed, which is nice. And there's also some hidden snap points. I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. So all of these things in the gift shop can be scrapped to get rid of these dirt piles. Most of the dirt piles can be gotten rid of, at least the big ones. And then I actually like using this as a gift shop. It has a cool little desk there, and I like to reutilize it. You can turn it into something similar. Ooh, it sounds like we got a little bit of action going on outside. And then upstairs, we have a completely destroyed floor on the second, and it looks like there was at least a third floor at 1.2 or some type of attic. But you're like, oh, you said there wasn't too much destroyed. Well, thankfully, these floors are completely destroyed, so you can just build new ones. There's nothing in your way. This little path and stairs, all that's scrappable. So I used a concrete pillar to pillar glitch in a floor, and then I built from there. And I was able to build 2 additional floors so to make it 3 stories. And I'll show you that a little bit later. So this area is kind of cool, this little lookout. I like to keep this. I try not to delete it. Obviously, if you delete it, you can't really rebuild it the same way. It'll be kind of difficult to put it back. So I do try to keep it. I delete this though, this entrance into the house, so I can fix everything. And then I kind of path a new entrance to that lookout. I'll show you that in a little bit. So this should be your main focus. There are some snap points in here. So like there's some bad snap points that you don't want to use. The snap points that dig your floor into the wall aren't good. You could also snap to that staircase, which isn't terrible. One thing to note though is that you should use warehouse flooring when you do this. If you use regular wood flooring, it's really hard to do. I don't know why, but the warehouse flooring has a lot more give when it comes to being pushed into other objects. So that is my one advice. The most important rule for building here is warehouse flooring. And obviously there's some other floor pieces that work well for this type of thing too, but you get the idea. You want to use the floor pieces that are not as sensitive. So, and let's take a look real quick. So you can see I attached it to the stairs, and this is just a regular floor piece. And if you attempt to use another floor piece to attach on, it makes it really difficult. So let's just take a look. So like the quarter floor, normally it fits in there perfectly. You attach it to the stair, but it's not going. It's only letting me go up over into that corner. What is nice about building on the stair is that it is pretty much aligned with the walls. You just have to kind of mess with it a little bit until you can get the pieces to go in. And obviously when we use warehouse flooring, you'll see how that can be a lot easier. So obviously you're going to use the half flooring for that side. I think the half floors work well in this building. I used a lot of those at first, and obviously if you mess with it, then you can get this whole area covered. But I actually still think that the pillar glitching was a lot easier because I wasn't sitting there messing with the flooring to try to see which piece goes in. I just pillar glitched it and then just built my floor and I was done with it. And the attic though, however, is a little different. We'll talk about that when we go up there. So there's different entrances to this outdoor area. Obviously, there's going to be all kinds of ways people think of building here. So I put a staircase there where I just delete that fence, but I'm sure people are going to come up with all kinds of cool builds here. So I decided to keep this hole as my entrance. It fits a doorway a lot better. And there's also 2 rooms over here that are fairly destroyed. Not terrible. You can just kind of put some walls in there and then it'll be sealed off again. You're going to want to use warehouse walling in here as well because it's the tall walls. It's not the short ones. So that's another note. Alright, let's go down and take a look at one last feature that I really love. Oh, one more thing to keep in mind too. And that is that there is a weapons workbench here in addition to a cooking station when you first discover this settlement. This is the other feature that I really like, which is the red, white, and blue banner. It's unique and you can only find it in this settlement, and it's obviously not really in the way, so you don't really have to delete it if you don't want to. Now let's fast forward and take a look at this building once I've repaired it. So I decided to turn my visitor center into the main governing building for the settlement. It's a police station, a city hall, a courthouse, it has the gift shop, and it also houses the mayor's office as well. So on the first floor we have the gift shop and the courthouse. Upon walking in, you'll be greeted by somebody at the desk. They'll probably be wondering what you want unless you're going directly to the gift shop. So if you're going towards the courthouse, you're probably going to have to check in. This is the courtroom here. So this is the main courthouse for all the settlements in Far Harbor. So if there's anything that needs to be settled, you're going to have to come to the National Park Visitor Center. So this area is where the judge will sit. Those white seats are for the jury. These 2 seats against the wall are for the security guards, and this is where the people will sit. So there's 2 bathrooms in here. I had to repair both these bathrooms. I decided to keep them as bathrooms because that's what they were originally. So there's a men's and a women's bathroom, and the 2 water fountains I decided to keep as well. I thought that they were appropriate for a courthouse. So over here is the gift shop. This area was really fun because it was already a gift shop, so I had a lot of fun building this and putting everything up. I decided just to do a basic settler gift shop with the things that they need, nothing too fancy. The one thing I really do like though, which is unique, is it comes with a coat hanger rack. And you can actually put hangers on the coat hanger rack. It doesn't hold clothes, unfortunately. That would be super cool if they did that. But right now it just holds hangers, which is good enough for me. I think it's unique. And this is basically what I did. I just kind of utilized some of the shelves, added some of the similar things that are already here. When settlers come, they come over here to check out, right? This little gap between the actual shop and the old countertop. Upstairs is the area that I repaired. So right here you can see the staircase to the 3rd floor or the attic. And then this is the kitchen for the police. And this is also used for the town hall whenever they have big events. Maybe they'll make some popcorn, and there's also a bar upstairs. So the bartender might come down here a lot. And then over here is where the police officers do their work. So they all have desks, and there's also a main desk for the chief of police or the chief of security. And this is their file cabinets. There's also a meeting table over here in the corner, and that main meeting table is where they're going to have like detectives in different cases for different settlements in Far Harbor. So I really tried to make this feel like a police station. I felt like it was kind of white and barren looking, and it had real tall ceilings, so I wanted to do something that felt more commercial, but not like, you know, come and party type of thing. So I did something more government-like. I felt like that fit the building. Up here is the city hall area. So they come here and have meetings. The mayor will come over here and talk in front of all the people. And then back here is like a smoking room. This room can also be utilized for higher up meetings. So like if the mayor's meeting with other mayors or the Minutemen or whatever, they might come over here. So this whole floor or attic area is designed to mainly host big meetings, but sometimes they might do like a movie night, and they might do something fun. They might clear out the chairs and do like a dance. So I kind of have it where there's a bar here in case they do events, and people can order cocktails and beer. Obviously there's a lot of cocktails that are made from Vim or with Vim. Now I haven't designed cocktails and a menu for this bar yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Keep in mind, these stairs are very unique because I basically took 2 of those short stairs and I kind of meshed them together to make it so that they can reach that 2nd floor. So just keep that in mind. I just basically meshed 2 of them together. It's nothing fancy. So this is the armory. This is obviously where the police or the security force will come to gear up before they fight all the creatures of the fog. So they need a heavy-duty armory. This is the mayor's office. So this is where he spends most of his time. There's also security cameras here because obviously they need to be able to see when they're under attack from the creatures of the fog. So these types of settlements are more prone to use security cameras. So out here is the area where the police or security force come and work on their power armor and weapons. So this is their little area that they get to use. It's a little higher up, so they have a vantage point in case something is attacking and they need to use this area. And I obviously told you guys earlier that I built stairs there, and this is those stairs. Now, the main reason why I built these stairs is because I want to make the visitor center more accessible, especially as the settlement gets bigger. Having only one set of stairs to go up to the 3 floors becomes really crowded. And I really want this building to become the focal point of my settlement later on. So I decided to start building more stuff like this. And as the settlement gets bigger, I'll probably build even more access points. But right here is a staircase that leads you up to that lookout area. Now keep in mind, we need to talk about the attic still. Notice that the floor piece sticks out of the attic up here. You're going to use the red and gray checkered floor piece to snap to a certain spot up in the attic so you can build the attic floor. The only downside is that it hangs out a little bit. I just use walls to cover it up. I don't think it's that big of a deal just to put some walls and cover it. Otherwise, you could also use pillar lich instead. But that pretty much concludes my video for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.